Lithuanian, had sold the place twice, to buyers desperate to own it, but who had pulled out in acrimony and tears to take their depreciating financial packages elsewhere, reduced to an emotional frazzle by the Cooksons' failure over weeks and months to find a new ideal home for themselves, by their refusal to consider going into temporary rented accommodation to rescue these deals, and not least by their general destructive haggling over trifles. I'd lost count of the properties the Cooksons themselves had walked away from at the 11th hour, upscale dwellings that ticked every box on an evolving wish list that had taken the three of us out to look at converted windmills and maltings, a superior Georgian townhouse on the square, a riverside apartment with long views and finished in oak and granite, a wool merchant's cottage with sizable vegetable garden out towards Woadstringham, the paths of the couple's individual whims, hers, at any moment, for a circle of views, his, for an authentic chef's kitchen with wine cellar, rarely crossed. If one light went on, another went off. You saw them bickering quietly in their car. Once I heard Mrs. Cookson refer to me as "that fucking creep Hemming," which seemed a little severe, though in the circumstances I was lurking in a recess on the landing directly below them as they stood disagreeing about the aesthetic merits of porthole-style windows. I suppose she was right. "Do you think the Cooksons actually want to move house?" Katya said frequently. They probably do now, I thought. But who could tell? They'd been in the place 16 years. Their children had flown. He was a dentist. She owned 4 pharmacies. Now in their mid-40s and better off than ever, they seemed to me stranded between possible bad choices. Not just between grandstanding and downsizing, but between staying in this marriage for the rest of their lives or breaking free of it. In their terse exchanges about decor or room size, you saw a larger sense of purpose draining away. They were looking for something, but a new home together wasn't it. Rather, they seemed engaged in a passive war of attrition, with house hunting as their chosen weapon. I didn't like the Cooksons one bit, but they did fascinate me. The last time I had seen them, or in fact failed to see them, was some months before their trip to the Sun. I'd arranged to show them a new architect-built concrete jewel of a place with a gym and pool. I arrived a little early, checked the rooms, the automatic blinds and lighting. I ran through the blurb Katya had put together. Then I waited, pacing the rooms, pacing the drive. After 20 minutes I called Mr. Cookson. He was playing golf. "Are you sure it was today?" he said. I told him that yes, today was the day, and paused to allow him to apologize. He didn't. "To tell you the truth, I think my wife may have lost interest," he said. Normally, I wouldn't have minded too much being stood up. In other circumstances, I would have used the time to snoop around the house while the vendors were out. But here there were no vendors, or at least none with real lives to look into. Just the usual developers in the habit of dressing their high-spec rooms in modish finery, a leather and chrome Corbusier chaise, a shag pile rug, deluxe drapery and linens. Nothing to suggest living, breathing occupancy or personal taste, no stamp of a human form shaping its nest. I locked up and walked. The wind was cold, but it was dry. When time and weather permit, I walk. From our office, and Hemmings is bang in the middle of the town map, on the north side of the old square, there's nowhere you can't get to on foot within half an hour. And what better way to sharpen the focus of everyday blur into readable information? My habit is to take arbitrary diversions. I move like a window shopper. My antennae are alert to unusual sales clusters, incursions from rival agents. I take the trouble to read the fluttering notices pinned to fences and telegraph poles, warning of private building projects or public works. I note what scaffolding is going up, contractors' vehicles, the contents of skips. The smell of fresh paint puts a spring in my step. I can spot the red dot of a newly installed alarm.